many cadres need to be adequate knowledge of Islamic judicial system, especially the procedure. And as you know, there is no big difference between the procedure in Islamic court and other courts.
With a new judicial training center inaugurated, it is envisaged to enhance the capacities of cadres to better adjudicate cases and resolve disparities between the two common jurisprudence of law practice in the Gambia. Babukar Kamara, Grts.
Students and teachers in the Lower River region converged at the weekend for an awareness-raising exercise focusing on civic rights. The effort, championed by the National Council for Civic Education and bankrolled by the United Nations Development Programme, is expected to lead to the creation of civic clubs in selected schools. Fatmata Simaha reports.
Council for Civic Education, NCCE, as part of its 2014 work plan, conducted a two-day program on the establishment of civic clubs in selected schools across the country. The program supports awareness raising on civic education through effective communication and advocacy interventions at all levels. During the exercise, both teachers and students were exposed to basic knowledge on civic and human rights education as per the 1997 Constitution, and the objective is that there will be establishment of civic clubs in each of the selected schools after the end of the training. During his deliberations, the program officer, NCCE, Yusuf Abojang, said there is a paradigm shift in their program targeting students and teachers in creating awareness. The reason is that they constitute the wider population in the country. Bojang further underscored that this training is aimed at broadening the knowledge of students as they have a role to play in nation building. Such knowledge will ensure fair treatment of all under the watchful eyes of the Constitution, as well as knowing their limits as citizens.
The idea is to rally them around the Constitution as the supreme law of the land, and also to ensure active participation of students in the socio-political life of the nation.
Yusufa maintained that if students are empowered, it will enable them to participate and have better understanding of their roles, rights and responsibilities.
Important that people get the right information, and information also we believe is power. So when people are given the right information, they will be able to act in an informed manner. They will be able to participate. And when we say democracy here, when we talk about good governance, it is about participation. But we say people don't participate just for the sake of participation, but we participate in a well-informed manner.
Malam Kuyate, Senior Education Officer Region 2, acknowledged the importance of this training, saying it is a step in the right direction, given the fact that it is an obligation on all of them to know their rights and responsibilities.
According to the program schedule, the paradigm, which is the method of application, is being changed. They were targeting the elderly people. Now the information is to target the school children and their teachers, so that they are the wider community. Once schools are involved, whatever information you want to filter it down to the grassroots, it will solely go.
Kuyate thanked UNDP for supporting this awareness creation forum, while urging students to take lessons learned seriously in order to support NCCE in fulfilling their mandate based on the 1997 Constitution of the Gambia. Speaking on behalf of students and teachers, Abubakar Sambu said this training will provide them an in-depth of better understanding of the Constitution as they poise to have to establish clubs in their various schools.
I learned a lot today because personally I've been hearing a lot about civic education, civic empowerment, but what I gained from this training today has added a lot to the little that I have known. Because here I know that every right that a person has that you can claim to be your right, there is a corresponding responsibility attached to it, which we should also not forget about.
As the name implies, National Council for Civic Education has the basic function of educating the public on their civic duties and responsibilities. This role enables citizens to know what is constitutionally required of them and what the state is also required to do for them. From Pakalindin LRR, Fatmata Simaha reporting.
From there, we'll take our first break. Stay tuned.
Gambia, Damane, Benchum Reume Ote, the Gambia Television Services, GRTS. GRTS Staff Association, Jinjitali, His Excellency the President, Chef Professor Al-Haji Dr. Yahya AJJ Jame, no fast Kene Sumbu, Jinkatlum Banquet Dinner, a grand dance with a difference. Bufikeja am Sufi Muse Amsach, on the 23rd of May, and on the 24th of May, 2014, Setiki Penchami Hall, featuring the now happening Queen of Malaka, Titi Safnepa, Titi, Tamane Titi, Pare Rajake Penchami Hall. You've never seen her on stage like this before. Titi, by popular demand. Yipari Joy Mostoli, Anak Aindanan artist, VGB Rumi. Tickets, Gala, Platinum, $60,000. Diamond, $50,000. Gold, $40,000. And the individual, $1,000. Grand dance ticket, $500 and $300 flat. For all reservations, please call 991-199-203-1850-682-9536. Sunyureu.
Welcome back. Pressure is mounting on Nigeria's president as well as frustration at the slow progress to bring back nearly 300 kidnapped schoolgirls. A Hollywood celebrity is joining the chorus of international voices urging the government to speed up the search. It has been 5 weeks since the students were seized by the terrorist group Boko Haram at a boarding school in the northeast of Nigeria, and there is still no sign of the girls. But at a security summit in Paris on Sunday, Western nations and Nigeria's neighbors agreed to band together to fight Boko Haram. CNN's Our Demon spoke with two men who work as informants inside the group.
Just speaking to us could cost them their lives, already at risk.
This is the only way our children will have future.
Mohammed and Usama, not these two men's real names, are government informants on the feared terrorist group Boko Haram. They have seen the group's influence spread and lure in their friends.
After convincing you, they take you, once you move to their training camp, that is the end. You won't come back again.
Recruiting from among the poor, who tend to make up their rank and file fighters, and drawing in the educated, trained in explosives.
The two informants we met described their links to Boko Haram as being to mid-level fighters. They're not from the same state where more than 200 schoolgirls were kidnapped. That is here, Borno State. This its capital, Maiduguri, where Boko Haram's radical ideology was born.
Unchecked by the government, the group grew more violent and ruthless, kidnappings becoming common.
Take them to the bush, then they will force you to join, or it's either you join or they kill you.
The informants have heard of shadowy links to Al-Qaeda. Their friends who joined trained in Sudan and Somalia. They claim to know exactly where Boko Haram's camps are in their area, but for the most part, they say, the government has failed to act. Similar to the accusations that Nigerian forces were warned in advance about the Chibok attack.
They will use them to negotiate with the government about those of their members that have been detained by the government, or to use them as human shell.
They've seen their friends slaughtered, and they know the group will show no mercy. Arwa Damon, CNN, Maiduguri, Nigeria.
Russian President Vladimir Putin has ordered troops near the border with Ukraine to return to their bases. This according to the presidential spokesman, who says withdrawal has started and that troops there were undergoing a routine exercise. That would be welcome news for Kiev and the West, but NATO says it is not seeing any sign of Russian troops returning to their bases now. A month ago, Ukrainian city of Mariupol was a scene of violent clashes between pro-Ukrainian supporters and pro-Russian separatists. CNN takes a look at an unlikely group of locals now taking matters into their own hands to restore law and order.
A crowd of pro-Russia separatists gather in the Mariupol city center. They have their local military commander surrounded. They're asking him who's in